Hey, and welcome back with another video. It's Once a Future King once again. And today I'm going to be doing my reaction to a couple of Cuckoos episode 4. So the series is moving along in an interesting way so far. Like I've said before, I'm skeptical on the premise. I'm not a big fan of arranged marriage storylines, especially if it's set in the modern day. If it's set in the far, far past, then I can forgive it, because that sort of stuff was normal in a lot of cultures in the past. But in the modern day, I'm a lot more skeptical on that. While I highly doubt there's, legally they could do anything to force him to marry someone he doesn't want to. At the same time, in Japanese culture, people are taught to respect the decisions of their elders unquestionably, basically. And while he is trying to resist it, credit to him, he is trying to resist it. At the same time, they're not letting up, okay? And so my hope is that, obviously I assume he is going to end up marrying her eventually. But my hope is that he, chooses to marry her because he, at his own accord, based of his own free will, rather than because his parents want him to. And we don't get the impression that his parents won, which is a really tricky thing to do from a writing standpoint. I think I mentioned this before, but I kind of equate it to, in My Hero Academia, with Todoroki. When Todoroki finally used his fire powers, which was the powers he got from his father, the series, I think, did a decent job of explaining that, he didn't do it because his father wanted to, he did it because he wanted to, alright? I mean, because Deku was a big reason, but also mainly because he wanted to. He finally realized that these were his powers, okay? And in spite of that, though, his father was still very smug, and it was like, you finally decided to succumb, basically. But he was like, no, I did it because I wanted to. It has nothing to do with you. I wasn't even thinking about you, okay? So I think that's kind of a similar situation, obviously. And it's what I would hope for really any story like this, in my personal opinion. Alright. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of his parents at first. And by the way, whenever I say his parents, I'm talking about the former delinquents. I know that technically those aren't his birth parents, but I just want to keep it simple. So whenever I'm talking about his parents, I'm talking about the former delinquents. Whenever I'm talking about her parents, I'm talking about that rich guy, essentially. The families they were raised in. Okay, so her father, I think, is actually the most interesting. I kind of like him so far, only because I feel like his motives are the same, but he's being a lot more subtle, a lot more strategic with it, which I feel like makes him more interesting. Also, why I like the way he's forcing them to live in this house for 2 weeks. Also, I could certainly be wrong here. I kind of feel like he's the kind of character that if they decide after a while that they just don't love each other, he'll actually let the topic go and maybe even try to convince his parents to do the same. Again, I could be completely wrong. He could be completely malicious, 100% malicious, not willing to back down, but just being more subtle about it than his parents. But that's kind of what the impression that I've gotten so far. Okay, so last episode, I believe, was the first full episode that we got to see them living in that house together. Alright, by the way, it never explained exactly how they're paying for expenses since they're high school students. I assume, though, that her father is, sending them money whenever they need it, essentially. That's what I would assume. Anyways, so last episode, I believe, was the first full episode when we got to see them living in that house together, and so far, they seem to be doing fine. They haven't fallen in love yet, but they don't seem to hate each other any more than they have previously. And by the way, I don't even know if it's totally accurate to say they hate each other. They get on each other's nerves, but I don't think that necessarily equates to hatred. So, yeah. But anyways, though, that's pretty much all I have to say before this episode begins. Almost 5 minutes in, but let's just get straight to the episode then. So, the episode will begin in By the way, I skipped the intro entirely because it was at the very beginning of the episode once again, so I skipped 1 minute and 30 seconds in. So the episode will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh wow, that was quick. I expected him to get past her eventually, but I didn't expect it to be this soon in the series. Damn. Also, by the way, I recently found out that apparently the manga of this series is from the same mangaka as Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, which I did not know, but I am even more excited for the series than before because, oh man, I love Yamada-kun. They got an anime adaptation back in 2015. I actually finally read the manga last year. I love it so much. It so badly needs more. But yeah, I actually was not aware of that before, but I am now. So, yeah, that makes me even more excited for this series. This is a really great writer. Okay. It's so nice to have supportive friends, isn't it? Or maybe they're just stuck kissing up to him. That could be as well. Yeah, it looks like she has really supportive friends as well, so, yeah. This is probably going to be a huge comedic misunderstanding too, isn't it? I'm calling it. Wow, he's actually going through with it here. I'm impressed. Like, a lot of protagonists probably wouldn't be able to do it even now. It'd take him so freaking long. Like, I don't think she's going to say yes, but that's still damn impressive, though. Yeah. I love the confidence. Like, I just had to beat you 10 more times. That can't be that hard, right? So I wonder how long it's going to take to happen for that to happen, considering that the first win happened by episode 4, which is pretty early on, like I said. Oh, I love. You know, I've said before that I want to see a Nagi and a Amano together, and I do, but like, already this is doing a good job of making me enjoy their chemistry as well. So now all the series needs to do is make me like the chemistry enough between him and his stepsister. Which, so far, she's okay. She's not amazing, though. And, I mean, the series is going to have 24 episodes, so after this episode, there's 20 left to do that in. Okay. Actually, the day I'm recording this is Saturday, the week after this episode came out, so I believe episode 5 is already out, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this episode is the episode when Amano and her biological sister, Nagi's stepsister, is gonna get closer, spend some time with each other, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wow, the 2 weeks is already up. I figured that it would last at least the majority of the season. Okay, they really blitz through this. I'm not sure if that's just an anime thing or if the manga was also that quick, getting through the 2 weeks. I seriously expected it to last the majority of, if not all of the season. So he was trying to be really harsh, and then she just goes ahead and frickin' agrees with him. And it is a good point too. It's like that. Not a full service mansion. I guess it means that like it's a nice house, and she probably has a lot of money from her father. But at the same time, you know, she doesn't have any servants, which I assume she has at her regular mansion. You know, so yeah. What? No, don't tell me that, like... My theory now is that, like, he did all of that shit while he was living at home. So when he was gone for just 2 frickin' weeks, everything went to shit in the house. Mainly the plumbing, like she said. So then they had to move out. Please don't tell me they're that fucking incompetent. Like, that's just a theory that just popped into my head, but come on now. Scene from the trailer! It's a pretty minor scene in retrospect, but it's probably in the trailer because it's her completely nude in the bath, only being covered up by water. That's probably why it was in the trailer. And obviously she's going. Again, even if I didn't know what was going to happen in this episode, I would probably like say, yeah, she's obviously going. But she's obviously going. You know. Honestly, the two of them are very similar. I mean, they're both tsunderes. First and foremost. I think it was an interesting decision to make them both tsunderes as well. I wonder if the author did that specifically because they're both biological sisters. Obviously, being biologically related doesn't inform your personality, but I wonder if that was something that the mangaka did intentionally because they're biological sisters. Because the other girl is not a tsundere at all, it doesn't seem like. So I wonder if that was intentional on mangaka's side of things. Oh god. I love his fucking expressions that he makes. They're so fucking funny. And the way his voice changes and shit. I wonder if that's the same voice actor, because it sounds totally different. But Japanese voice actors do usually have a larger range in most cases than the English ones, so it could very well be the same voice actor. Are garbage disposals that uncommon in Japan that only wealthier people have them? I'm not fucking rich, but I have a goddamn garbage disposal, and even if I didn't in my current house, I still heard of them. Are they that expensive and uncommon in Japan? What? Kind of funny, but also kind of weird. Yeah, they're definitely, again, more potential parallels intentionally done by the mangaka because they're biological sisters. Now, granted, I think food taste and stuff like that is stuff that can be genetic, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I think it can be, though. So, yeah. Okay. That's it for this episode. So, that was definitely, in my opinion, the best episode in the series yet. That was really freaking good. Alright, that was, like, the highlight of the episode, I thought was going to be the beginning with, Nagi and that one purple hair chick. I don't remember her name yet. But I thought the beginning of the episode was going to be the highlight. Okay. But then, no, like, even though I knew what was going to happen, I still didn't think this was going to be, I thought it was going to be good, but not the highlight. But no. The highlight of the episode was definitely Sachi and Amano getting closer together as sisters, like, spending time together. That was definitely, to me, the highlight of the episode. Alright. Like, they had so much fun finally meeting their own biological sister, and it was extremely wholesome. Although that does not take away from the beginning of this episode, which was also really, really good. Alright. Like I said before, I am expecting, Amano and Nagi to end up together, but I'm also expecting that to take a while. I'm expecting that the purple hair chick will eventually end up developing feelings for, not for Nagi, and so it'll be kind of like a love triangle. You know, that is until Sachi, actually no, not a love triangle, but like a love square basically, because I think Sachi pretty much already has feelings for him. It seems that way at least. So, yeah. Maybe she just hasn't realized it yet. I don't know. That's a common trope in anime that I don't think I've ever seen in real life, not realizing that you have feelings for someone, but this is an anime here, so that is a common trope in anime, so I'm expecting that to be the case here as well. Because she hasn't done anything huge like over-the-top blushing or anything like that yet, so I suspect that is because she hasn't realized her feelings for him yet. But regardless, though, I do eventually expect Purple Hair Chick to fall in love with him. And hey, I mean, I suppose he always could end up with her in the end. It's like, I doubt it, but that would be an interesting twist. You know, if the mangaka decided to throw out convention in that regard. Because there's already been some more minor areas in which he's thrown out convention. A good example is in last episode when there was a bug in the bathroom. Frickin' Nagi rushed in, and Amano screamed, but it wasn't because he was there. She didn't slap him or anything. She screamed because of the bug, and she wanted him to get rid of it. And then another throughout a convention is that despite being a man, he wasn't able to do it, so she had to do it. Which I relate to a lot, unfortunately. But anyways, so, but this would be a much bigger throwing out a convention if, like, the two of them did not end up together, but instead it was Nagi and the purple hair chick. Like, I highly doubt that will happen. But we'll just have to wait and see. Again, that would be a huge twist. And like I said, the beginning of this episode did make me enjoy their chemistry. You know, so even if they don't end up together, I still hope that they remain friends because I really enjoy seeing their chemistry on screen together. Especially after this episode. And like I said before, I do hope that, like, the mangaka goes into detail later on, making me really enjoy his chemistry with Sachi, because she's not bad so far, but I'm not attached to her yet, like I am the other two. So anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content in the future. Hit the notification bell if you want to know whenever I upload a video, because I release new videos all the time. Share on other places on the internet if you think it deserves it, such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Try to get my channel more attention. And like always, comment on the video down below because that'll help my channel out. Let me know your thoughts on this video and on this episode, on the series as a whole, on the manga if you're a fan of it. Were you aware the manga was written by the same person who wrote Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches before, unlike me? And does that knowledge make you even more excited for this series? Because that is a great freaking series that deserves a full anime adaptation. It was robbed back in 2015 by only getting a single one-course season. Seriously. Probably hoping for too much here, but maybe the series can get popular and inspire them to go back. Probably not. Anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time.